Since you are such a big history buff, as am I, is there any specific historical figure that you would like to attend one of your shows?
Yes. There's a couple. It's very difficult to... I mean, I could go for the obvious and will and say Shakespeare, because clearly he's been a massive influence over my entire life and just way of writing and thinking. And so, yeah, that would be pretty sweet. I would think the main reason why I would want him there is because I think that he would appreciate the funny parts of it and the comedic aspect and the vaudevillian nature, which really goes back to the humor and the gestures of that time that hero comedy bits for. And so I think that I'd be most gratified to have Shakespeare in the audience, mainly, yeah, for the jokes. Not for my grand pontificating or serious songs, but yeah, for the vulgar humor. I would appreciate having him there.
And I agree. I think he would really just die laughing, as it were.
Yeah. It's a good way to go, isn't it?
It's the only way to go, I feel. If you're not laughing, what's the point of being undead anyway?
I'm so glad that you see that, because that's something that I talk about a lot, is people, in my case, get caught up on the very dark nature of the fact of, my book and the stories and everything being true and all this horrific stuff. But, in fact, the whole way that you get through that is finding the really dark, morbid humor in all of this is how you go forward and how you can deal with this and not just go inward and curl up into a ball and die, because that isn't the way that I want to go anyway. I want to go in I want to go like a firework that just burns quickly and brightly and lights up the sky, and then I can fade. But I don't want to just curl up and crawl into a ball and fade away that way. That's not in any way as glamorous a death as I require.
No.
So I think that being able to find the ridiculous humor in all of this, in, the things that go on in insane asylums and the things that go on in daily life and the things that go on in my life and the show and how I look and everything, is being able to do this and put your utmost heart and soul and brain into it and take your work very seriously without taking yourself very seriously. And even when we're talking about serious things, knowing that you can accomplish so much more with, like, a wink and a nudge and a smile and, like, a wardrobe malfunction and sometimes a dirty joke, than with pontificating on your politics or your beliefs about how the world ought to go, because really you can do that, but rather than giving speeches about it, nothing wrong with any of it, but I personally in my own life have found that you can get a lot more done with a really cleverly timed joke, and people can walk away with that, and that's why there's so much humor and comedy, vaudevillian, burlesque stuff in the shows between all the really, especially the new tour, which gets very much deeper into the real story and the horrificness of a lot of things that are going on, but you still is very important to us to maintain the humor in it. For one thing, you need a lot of comic relief when you're getting into this sort of subject matter, but also because it's so often, like, you prove a point about a story. It's the whole comedic thing of, like, it's funny because it's true. So when you tell the truth about some really crazy, fucked up shit that happened in the past and that continues to happen today, because, it's all about the parallels of learning. Like, do you see what's going on by pointing at something in the past, and then people go, holy shit, we haven't come that far from that. That's messed up. We should maybe do something about it.
Absolutely.
But you do it by singing a song that's fucking hilarious, and people laugh, and then they realize why they're laughing is because it's fucked up, and then they realize that it's fucked up because it hasn't really changed, and then you send people away thinking about something, but you've done it without saying, I'm angry about this and that, and we should all change, and you should treat me better, and we should all do this, which can get really annoying really fast. And in the end, then you just have people shut off, and you don't accomplish your message. So it's been a great life lesson in finding alternate ways to change your world.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, like attracts like, and also if you are not entertaining an audience, no matter what your platform, they will tune out completely, and like they're doing on this
Absolutely.
show right now. Everybody is tuning out right now.
Oh yeah, right now. I know somebody needs to, like, have a nip or something, because people are just like falling asleep, but somebody needs to show a boob. I think it should be you.
Absolutely. Well, I'm currently topless right now, but nobody can tell because I'm on the radio. So.
Oh, they can tell. They can tell.
Oh, I knew there was a webcam here somewhere. Yes, indeed.
Yep. No, they can feel it. They can feel it right now. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned, of course, a new album, which is coming soon, and of course you are touring for this as well.
Yeah.
Now, as I had mentioned before, with Opheliac, you kind of created an entire world and universe. Now, does this new album also take place within this universe, within this world?
Yes, it very much does. How that works really is that I strongly believe that once you're in the asylum, you never really get out. So it's changed me to such a degree that this is probably where I will continue to exist for a very long time, if not the rest of my life, because it has become my life, but it's not limiting in any way because it is alive and it continues to grow and change, and that the real difference between Opheliac and this, the Flag album, is that, well, pretty much you said it brilliantly, and that it created this sort of sonic landscape and laid out really just like the real estate for this is the grounds we're on. This is basically the idea of who this person is, and what the Fight Like a Girl is about is that this takes the actual Asylum for Wayward Victorian Girls book, and which is really the Bible of this whole entire, this is what this is all about, it's that book, and that dictates everything that I do. And so this is very literally telling cohesive stories from that book as opposed to just laying the ground for these stories to exist. Now it is actually going in and literally telling the story. And for the show, we are taking people on a completely new and very dramatically different journey in that they follow from the sort of beginning to the end period with characters. And for the album, for which we are touring for right now, it is very special in that it was always meant to be and was written specifically as not a rock record in any way, but as a soundtrack, and to be part of the soundtrack for the Broadway musical that this show is meant to be and is quickly becoming. And so that is the difference, and that is what is happening, is that this is a few chapters from that musical, and within 2 years this will be up, and in a Broadway situation, and that is, with a cast of 50, that is where this is going. And so it's just part of that. It's debuting the material from what that show will be, which will be epic. But when you hear it, and even when you see the show, but when you hear the full-on record, it is just massive, and it is epic and cinematic, and sounds like a fucking soundtrack to something really huge and expensive, because it will be. But that's the main difference, is just this is a whole new world, and we are really telling a story.